Hi. Welcome back and good morning. We've made it to the 11th session at #Interstellar Observatory number 7 on our world and beyond. Here we discuss the Milky Way Galactic Report. Come along with us.
11th Celestial Probe. The Milky Way Galactic Network. As fixed lights in night skies prove unaffected by our sun not being subject to it, celestial light that travels the skies does so from the sun's gravitational pull. Everything would be arbitrary were it not for the repetition until now ensured by Earth's, or perhaps the cosmos, revolution around the sun, or so we thought. Hailey's comet had been recorded since 240 BCE, first from sightings of Chinese astronomers, which came to help us track its movement over time after the fact. Previously, what was thought a phenomenon in space was actually a visitor on orbit from outside our solar system but affected by the sun's gravity. Passing by Earth every 75 to 79 years, it is the only comet that might appear in a lifetime, where last seen in 1986, it won't be again until around 2061. It is named after Edmond Halley, who from past astrological records understood previously seemingly arbitrary sightings of shooting stars were reoccurrences of the same body. Predicting the comet's return, it passed by Earth again as scheduled in 1705. The question had become what else lay outside this container known as the solar system, which may have been thought before, but with the age of Enlightenment many sought to be so astrologically. From mere theory, Immanuel Kant in his Universal Natural History explains his hypothetical nebular concept, where our solar system was formed from dense gas clouds in a large nebula. He also rightly determined what we call the Milky Way galaxy was stars dispersed in a large disk. Further, postulating that distant nebulae may have been other galaxies, Kant opened up the field of astronomy to new horizons which extended past our small group of planets orbiting the Sun to galactic space and intergalactic realms. As the Earth orbits our Sun, the Sun does a gigantic galaxy which may be best described in Welsh mythology's Court of Dôn. But where is it that we really are, what our purpose is, and if whether we matter?
As the Earth orbits our Sun, the Sun does so the much larger barred spiral galaxy we call the Milky Way. Containing the Earth, the other 7 planets, a dwarf planet, the Sun, and countless stars, gas clouds and cosmic dust, the galaxy gets its name from the hazy light bands seen in night skies, which are smaller stars which can't be distinguished by the naked eye. From Latin we get the term via lacteal, which means milky circle, where Galileo Galilei in 1610 distinguished the band of light into individual stars with his telescope. Until the 1920s, most still thought within the Milky Way was contained all the stars in the universe, because education has an unquenchable to go where it isn't afforded, as public education is a relatively new concept. Discoveries made were recovered through time, as this report may also one day be closed, so we can't say our knowledge of the universe has progressed, unless we've thought outside the box of the Milky Way. After contemplating our spiral nebula and the universe's approximate size in the 1920 Shapley-Curtis debate, Edwin Hubble distinguished the Milky Way in observations from a wider, more unfathomably expansive universe where our galaxy was but one of uncountably more, seemingly to perpetuity. Our solar system orbits a barred spiral galaxy on one of the 4 arms of the galaxy's circular flattened clusters, trailing the barred rotating nucleus. With 2 arms following one side of the rotating bar and the other 2 its other side, our solar system orbits on the Sagittarius arm by the Orion spur. Its inner and much larger arm is the Centaurus arm, and between it and the spiral bar is the Norma arm, which stretches around the galaxy, also called the outer arm. The massive Perseus arm nestles us within, but the bar is basically a densely concentrated network of stars where too close to stay magnetic poles push them away, while their mass and gravity for some violently pulls the juxtaposition together at different times, and perhaps even a stellar nursery from friction between the long and the galactic bars. Well, yes, it's just theory from a drawing, but the best fathomed to date.
The Milky Way may be explained by several people, but not all identified the constellation Cassiopeia or the Corona Borealis in relation to the Milky Way, as had those Welsh. Referring to Cassiopeia as the Court of Dôn, Llys Dôn in Welsh, and the Corona Borealis as the Castle of the Silver Circle, Caer Arian Rod in Welsh, while what we know as the Milky Way was the Fortress of Gwydion, Caer Gwydion in Welsh. Perhaps, to the Welsh the letter W of their name may have been first envisioned looking at Cassiopeia's stars, or even M for Math Fab Madan Y, the King of Gwynedd, a precursor to the Kingdom of Wales, whose sibling Don bore 2 sons and a daughter pertinent to the story of the galaxy. Don's sons, Gwydion and Gilfa Ethwy, the later of which, obsessed with Gawain, compromises her position with the king, Math, who punishes both his nephews and must find a replacement for Gawain, where Gwydion suggests his sister, Arian Rod. Tested not to be a virgin, she gives birth to Dylan Ale Don, who takes to the sea at his baptism and, raised by his uncle, Gwydion, Lerlaw Gibbs, who, but a blob-like mass initially, becomes king of Gwynedd as told in the Mabinogi's 4th branch. If we have to point out the phonetic association of the mythologic Lu and Lu, or even Louis, Lucas, or even Don, Dion in Gwydion, Dylan, as Spanish pronunciation, Donald, or MacDonald, we might have to start over.
We can only see GWY being Welsh for see, so far, where eyesight is often accompanied with understandings which understood stories, mythical or not, personified, add character to the universe infinitely vast and unfathomably populated. The questions still remain as where is it that we really are, what our purpose is wherever this is we are, and if whether, recognizing the insignificance of one, we matter at all. Somewhere in a story of a book we attempt to make our marks on men's minds in the backdrop of infinity.
Earth orbits the Sun, which does our Milky Way galaxy, where described in Welsh mythology. Its story provides theory which questions whether what we see, GWY, precedes or follows what we think. Cassiopeia, the corona borealis in our galaxy, though light years apart, have a relationship, but where is it that we really are, what our purpose is, and if whether we matter is still to be determined. Sure, like I said, it's just theory from a drawing, but it's all we have.
That concludes all the information we have for you this session on the container we call the Milky Way galaxy. #Interstellar Observatory number 7, our world and beyond has yet to be exhausted, as noticing galaxies outside our own brings us next to the analysis of the constellations of our perspective in our 12th interstellar probe. We are looking forward to seeing you next time. Thank you for your time and consideration.